living life very dangerously, you know what I mean? Coked out, drugged out, on a motorcycle, going insane out here. 2009, I was in Wisconsin, and my boy was like, "Hey man, you should bodybuild." I ain't getting on that stage with the little draws on. You could go ahead and do that. Never will I do that. I told him, he's like, all right. So, when they were calling out numbers and they see me walk by, they said, who the fuck is that? They was like, who is that? They had these guys picked out for the overall. All these guys picked out for the overall, this and that. And everybody just looking at me. I'm backstage looking at everybody like, oh. Okay, so we gonna talk about today is like, welcome to my place, welcome to my home, you know what I mean? Welcome to my shit, you know what I mean? My crib looked like, this is my first spot after my leaving the location after my big breakup. So like this been the bachelor spot, but you know what I'm about to do? I just re-signed my lease. I'm about to put a rug out here. I'm about to get my shit real ooh-wee. Okay, yeah, next time y'all come in here, it's gonna be like ooh-wee. It ain't gonna be like, yeah, he wasn't playing around. So yeah, I just renewed my lease. So welcome to my place, man. You know, what we're gonna talk about today is we're gonna talk about my journey from beginner to pro. You know what I mean? Like, what was that all about? You know what I mean? We always doing workout videos. We always on the motorcycle. So I like to sit down real quick and let's do some story time. You know what I mean? If y'all want to listen to that, I don't give a fuck. Y'all about to listen because we about to have, we just talking. Welcome to my house again. You know what I mean? So this is what it is. I didn't know shit about bodybuilding before I started bodybuilding. I thought Hulk Hogan was a bodybuilder, to tell the truth, which he is a bodybuilder because he bodybuilt, but I thought he was like an actual bodybuilder on the stage. You know, I remember 2009, I was in Wisconsin, and my boy was like, "Hey man, you should bodybuild." I ain't getting on that stage with the little draws on. You could go ahead and do that. Never will I do that. I told him, he's like, all right. So, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of life was lived between that conversation with him in 2009 up until 2014. And, up until February 2014. But to just give you a little short story is when I lost my mother in October 2012, like, I fell off the deep end, gone, off the deep end. I got a lump sum of money, and basically I spent that lump sum of money in about 9 months with a little left over, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was fucked up, you know what I mean? So I was out here living life very dangerously, you know what I mean? Coked out, drugged out, on a motorcycle, going insane out here in the streets and just wilding out. That's what I was on. That's what I was on. When I lost my mom, I just went crazy. You know what I mean? I just went nuts. And how are you gonna say, how are you gonna deal with losing a mother, especially a big mama's boy like me, but losing a mother, and she was only 51, 52 years old, that shit's hard, you know what I mean? And it came unexpected. So what happened to me was I just fell off the deep end and went crazy and partying and, lost my mind, so to say, you know what I mean? I always like to say I was out here on death row. That's what I was out here. I was out here on death row, just waking up every day, just like not giving a fuck, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I was on a big bender. I was partying back then, you know what I mean? I was coked out. I remember I was on a bender. And I was like, what the fuck? I woke up, but was I really sleeping? You know what I mean? It was one of them uhs, you know what I mean? And I just was like, what the fuck? I gotta do better, you know what I mean? And one of my guys' moms had saw me one time. She said, boy, you sure, you still got your muscle, but you look thinner than what you was. And that's when I was out there partying, you know what I mean? So I lost some weight and everything like that, and that always sat in the back of my head. So that one day I just woke up, I was like, you know what? I can't do this shit no more, you know what I mean? I love this motorcycle shit. I love the whole environment up. I love partying. I love doing this, but the way I'm going, I'm about to burn up. Basically, I was like I said, I was on death row. I was about to burn up. So I don't know how I did it, but I willed myself to LA Fitness. I willed myself to LA Fitness January, February 2014. Yeah, January, February 2014. Yeah, January, February 2014. More short towards February. And I said I want to work out. I remember I flushed all those drugs when I woke up from that whatever power nap, whatever I was on, flushed all the drugs, and just I remember I took like some the allergy medicine. I forget the allergy medicine that make you fall asleep. Whatever the allergy medicine was. Benadryl. I took Benadryl so I could just pass out. And I remember I passed out, woke up. Hopefully like I'm hoping I wake up. You know what I mean? Woke up, I went to the motherfucking gym and I just started working out, getting my weight back, getting my physique back. And still didn't have I was just like, I need something to do. And then that's when I went to the gym and I said, you know what? I saw a big black dude. And this is like the second day me in the gym, I saw a big black dude. I'm like, dang, what did he do? They said, that's Keith Williams. He a pro bodybuilder. And I was all pro bodybuilder. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do the next show out here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the next show. They were like, Mr. Minnesota, the natural division. I was like, bet, let's do it. Because, I was like, I wasn't gonna do no drugs or nothing like that. So I said, bet, let's do it. And I just started training for that bodybuilding show, you know what I mean? I started training that bodybuilding show February of 2014 is when I started training for that show. And like I said, I had to get my physique back. I got pictures of when I first started doing some posing in the mirror, like this was the beginning. But it was like, let's do this, you know what I mean? And I just started training and it gave me I needed discipline, I needed principle, I needed structure, I needed that in my life at that time. I don't know anything else that would have gave me all that structure and discipline and everything I need. I couldn't think of anything else that would give me that, and I needed that. And I was like, damn, I gotta eat this time. I gotta train here, I gotta sleep, I gotta pose, I gotta do this. That's gonna keep me busy. That's gonna keep me from wanting to be on that motorcycle, keep me from doing drugs and keep me doing this. So I said, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? And I started training for that show and I just started, genetic motherfucking freak. I'm happy that my parents, whatever juice they got, they gave it to me, you know what I mean? We juiced up. We came out the womb juiced up on everything, you know what I mean? And I just started training and I just started growing like crazy. Started growing and they was just like, what the fuck? You sure you ain't on nothing? No, man, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't on nothing. I'll tell you if I was on some shit. And I was just getting better and better. And then I seen this brother and I was like, what show he doing? They say he doing Mr. Minnesota, the NPC version. That's they could do drugs and all that. And they was like, man, you got the physique to do that. You got the physique to do that. The Mr. Minnesota, I said, natural? They're like, yeah, you got the physique to do that. So, man, like I said, it was a struggle at first just getting into it. But once I started getting into it, this shit started becoming fun. And next thing you know, I sold my motorcycle. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped, one thing, I didn't stop smoking weed. I stopped doing all the drugs. I still was smoking cigarettes and weed. That's what I was doing. I was still smoking cigarettes and weed. I got a funny story as we go on, but yeah, so I stopped all the drugs and then I sold my motorcycle and I was so locked in and just kept going. And then once I said, I'm gonna do, fuck that, I'm gonna do the NPC version, Mr. Minnesota. Why not? Natural, I'm gonna do it. I look better than that dude. Then, it's what was it? 4 weeks went by, I seen that dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Why he look like that? He started changing quick. And they like, oh, he on some shit. So I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm not getting on nothing. I'm about to beat him. 2 more weeks go by. I'm like, what the hell is he on? Like, man, I'm doing it. And this is not cheating. He's in the NPC version. I'm going to do I want to do that one. So the about time, man, we oh no, we about I'm deep in it now. I'm probably 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out, and I just started seeing that motherfucker look crazy. And then at the last minute, I was like, give me some. The fuck? Hell nah, I'm not gonna be on the ones I look good, but he beat me because he was if I'm gonna do that NPC shit, I'm gonna level it out right away. And even then, at that point in time, you know, think about it, like the 6 weeks ain't even enough for the shit to kick all the way in, you know what I mean? I should have did it way longer than that, but you know what I mean? Me being a genetic freak, just a little bit of that shit's gonna do something. But as we keep going, we training, and I make it to that, you know, I finally like did that shit. I ain't did no cocaine, I sold my motorcycle, I ain't drunk no alcohol in like almost like 16 weeks. Probably, yeah, it's been 16 weeks or longer, because I think it was a longer prep for me, but I just didn't do any of that bad shit. But like I said, I still smoke weed and cigarettes. I couldn't kick that. And I didn't do no cardio. I was I listened to, I had that dude as my coach, Keith Williams as my coach, but we got into it. So I was like, I'm about to do this shit my own. And then I reached out to my first coach, Tim Johnson. And Tim Johnson was like, this is a small community bodybuilding world. I wouldn't want to just jump into coaching you. So he's like, at the last week, if you need any help, I got you. So let you know that this first prep of mine, I went through it. I did my own shit. I did all my own shit. Didn't do no cardio. I just seen people eating rice cakes and peanut butter. So I was eating rice cakes and peanut butter. I was doing all the shit I was looking at bodybuilders do. And I was just, my body was going crazy and it was just changing. So Tim Johnson, my first coach, he helped me through my last week. He helped me through my last week of show, pulling my water, this and that, and that. And I remember when I got to that show, like, you know, and let you know, still, I'm fucked up in the head because, you know, think about it. My mom died October 2012, and here I am only in 2014, the beginning of June 2014 is the show. Remind you, I'm still fucked up in the head. I'm still battling demons, but when I'm around everybody, it's all good. But when you're by yourself, you fucked up, you know what I mean? And that's what it was. I was really fucked up. But getting back to Tim Johnson helped me out. He helped me pull my water at the last minute. I took Lasix. He told me to take a half a pill. No, he said, break that half a pill into a half and take that. I said, fuck that, I'm taking the whole half. And then he's like, take this and take that. Everything he told me to do, I did double of it. So when I got on that, when I woke up that next morning, I was just dry as shit. And I woke up, smoked a Newport, took a shit, I got high, smoked another Newport, right? My boy come, and he gives me a Black and Mild. And I'm like, okay, let me hit that Black and Mild. And I'm like, okay, let's go do this. I walk over to this show, and I just I remember I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I barely know how to pose. I barely know how to do this, but we gonna go out here and do it. And I had the amount of people I had out there for me coming to the bodybuilding show to represent me because they seen what I'm doing and they wanted to, you know, be there for me. It was huge, man. And like I said, I went out there and I remember they was calling out numbers, and one of the judges said, when they were calling out numbers and they see me walk by, he said, who the fuck is that? They was like, who is that? And they had these guys picked out for the overall. All these guys picked out for the overall, this and that. And everybody just looking at me. I'm backstage looking at everybody like, oh, I'm about to get fucked up. Look how these people look. Look how these people look. Oh, I'm about to get fucked up. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. We go out there, and I remember they call out the poses. And next thing you know, we go out there and then we pose and they put me in the middle. And then I was like, that's not me, I'm winning. They put me in the middle. I'm like, I'm winning. I'm winning. So they put me in the middle, my people going crazy. I remember she like my cousin Simona. She was about to hop on the stage. Everybody told her that, you can't hop on the stage. She was going crazy. They had me in a whole motherfucking middle, and you know what? That was like, that moment right there, that day right there, I had goosebumps the whole motherfucking day. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I had the goosebumps the whole day, and it just felt like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like those other days, yeah, I was around people, I was happy, but I still had like I was still down. But that day I had the goosebumps and I was just like, we on. Don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but we is on. And I just had the goosebumps the whole day. And I ended up winning the light heavyweight. I won the light heavyweight division. They go crazy. I remember I got off the stage and my boy Aaron Canner was like, if you learn how to pose, you will leave that stage knowing you won. And I was like, all right, bro. Okay, I'm just out here doing something. Then we go back to and get on the overall. I won the whole motherfucking show, the whole show, Mr. Minnesota. And I swear to you, at that time, that was like, my mom was telling me like, live your life. Like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, be happy and just like, do you. And that's what the fuck I did, you know what I mean? And I won Mr. Minnesota, my first, I went out there and won, and I won the whole show, you know what I mean? And that right there was like, cause like growing up, I had all the athletic ability to do everything. I was a bad motherfucker and everything. But when I got to high school and I got to be older, you know what I mean? I wanted to be in the streets. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. I didn't want to do nothing that the people I seen playing this sport, playing that sport, I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to do all the little bitty stuff to get there. So when I won that show and I got like that uplifting of like depression and being fucked up off of me, it was like, this is my time, you know what I mean? And what I did was I put the metal to the pedal and I just kept going harder. And remember I said, that night I went out, smoked the rest of the pack of cigarettes and said, I'm done smoking cigarettes because I could be good at this shit. And then I made weight. At that show, I made weight easy. At Mr. Minnesota show, I made weight easy. I forgot what I was, but I was like 10 pounds underweight, you know what I mean, under the weight limit. And you remember I said 6 weeks in, I started taking that, and I went to North Americans 8 weeks later or however many weeks later, and everybody was like, what happened? That shit kicked in. That shit kicked in. And I just, like, I barely made weight. I made weight, it was like 198 was the weight. I barely made weight on what they had a set weigh-in day. I made it early, and I barely weighed on the scale, 198 even, boom, I made weight. And I was like, oh, we about to go get my fucking pro card. We about to go get my pro card. And I remember we walking to backstage and I'm all hyped up. You know, I'm skipping a lot of shit, but we giving you the breakdown version. You know, everybody know how competing go, the 10 and the days you get out there. But as I'm out there at North Americans, I'm truly feeling like I'm about to get my fucking pro card and ain't nothing could stop me because I just did my first show and won Mr. Minnesota. Why I ain't gonna come out here and do this? And I remember backstage, I asked this dude, I was like, what class you in? You a heavyweight? And he said, no, I'm a middleweight. I said, what the fuck? He said, what class you in? I said, I'm a light heavy. He like, yeah, this motherfucker looked at big. And then I'm like, whoa, this is different than Minnesota. This is levels to this shit. And I remember Tristan Echo, he came in, he was in my class, he had this lion tattoo, and I remember he had these veins around his body, and that motherfucking veins was doing the Macarena. Them motherfucking veins, and I looked at Tim, and I was like, he's in my class. Tim said, focus. I said, what you mean focus? Look who's just in my class. I said, get my pancakes ready, get all my shit ready, because we ain't getting our pro card this rip. And my first show, I got 8th place. And that's big, first national show. And I got 8th place. Everybody tell me that's big, that's big. Then that was July 2014. Then we fast forward to nationals in Miami 2014. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to get my pro card here. And then I was still, I got genetics. I'm still fucking up on food. I'm still doing what I do. I think I could do this. I think I could do that. And I remember I had the bags of candies. There was a whole, back in the day, it was like you load up on candies, Snickers, M&Ms, that's the shit you see. So I had bags of that. And I remember Tim asked me, if I had something, I pulled out my pocket a rapper film. He's like, I hope that ain't new. Oh no, that's old. These pants I wore, that's old. He already know that's old. I done started eating the candy. I'm like, man, I got genetics. That shit's gonna rub off me. This and that, that ain't gonna do shit. We go on. We go to the hotel. We stand at the hotel. He told me to eat half the pizza. I ordered. We loaded up. Well, no, I'm skipping. We meet down in the breakfast area. I'm supposed to get a little breakfast, this and that, and that. And we talk, we go over the game plan, we gonna go back up to the room and we pass a Danish table. And I got my tracksuit on and we passed a Danish table and I grabbed the Danish and I put it in my pocket. And then he's like, hey, what'd you grab right now? You grabbed some? I said, no. I'm smushing up the Danish in my pocket, everything like that. I get in the room, I'm eating that motherfucking Danish. I'm happy to eat that Danish. And then next day go on, I'm fucking up the candy still. Then he's like, okay, we gonna load you up on a half of a pizza and some of this chocolate cake. So he said, only eat half, and then we gonna leave that. So then I ate the whole thing. I ate the whole piece of the whole chocolate cake, and I called him. I was like, I told room service to come get it out of my room because I didn't have discipline, this and that, that and that. All right, Charles, this and that's go say. We go and do the show. I drop from 8th place to 13th or 14th place, like that. No, 12th or 13th place, like that. And I was like, oh, my genetics, everybody got genetics over here. I'm talking about Miami Nationals. This is a big show. Everybody got genetics. Everybody's this. So got my ass whooped. Then we go back to 2015 where it's like, okay, I grew from light heavyweight to heavyweight. I went to USA's and I did NPC USA's and I was a heavyweight. And then I placed third place. Cody Montgomery, Gerald Washington, and then me. And I gave them motherfuckers run for their money. That was my first top 5 placing right there. And I still feel like I should have done better than that, but come on. Your third national show, only been competing at this point in time. It's only barely been a year since I've been competing, really, because my first show was June 2014. This was July 2015, so I only been in the game for this short time. I already did 4 shows. First top 5 show right there, boom. And I remember I looked at all the judges and I told all the judges, like, I see y'all in nationals. And I remember Gerald Washington told me, you stay away from Pittsburgh because that's my show. I'm about to go turn pro. I said, you go do your thing at Pittsburgh. I got some shit I got to do. He goes and wins Pittsburgh. So Cody Montgomery was first at USA's. He's a pro. Gerald Washington go win Pittsburgh. He was second. Okay, time for me to go third. Went to fucking Miami and went the fuck off. That's what I did. I won my class in Miami, heavyweight class in Miami, and then I went up against Sergio Oliveira. And I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And I tell Sergio this too. I beat his ass at nationals, but I'm Charles motherfucking Unknown Griffin going up against Sergio Oliveira. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I beat that man. I should have had nationals. Champ that year. Sergio's my guy too. I love that guy. One of the pros that I've been real close to. Always, yeah, we don't talk on this and that, but when we see each other, this and that, it's always love. That's my guy, because I remember one time he wasn't competing at the Olympia. I looked down at him and he's right there and he's just happy for me like that. So, but still, that's my guy. But I beat that motherfucker at nationals. But then that's when I turned pro. So my journey was June 2014 to November 2015. So a year and a half I turned pro. And like I said, when I felt like my mom said this is what I was supposed to do, I went 100 miles per hour and I did that show, and I got better every time I learned. And I became an IFBB pro, and that was the biggest thing I've done in my life. I feel like I've done in my life, accomplished, because like I said, when I had all that athletic ability to play in the NFL, to do this, to do that, and I'm not tooting my own horn, I was a bad motherfucker. if I'd have lifted weights and I would have did the shit I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it, and to live with that on your brain, to live with, you could have did this, you could have did that shit sucked, you know what I mean? So for me to get to use my abilities and, you know, to become a pro and to like, you know, do something big like that after losing my mother, and I felt like, you know, life was like, what is life? Life is all about death to me at one point in time. So it's like I was out here not giving a fuck. But bodybuilding made me give a fuck. Bodybuilding gave me something to care about, you know. Me getting in that gym and working out and start working on my body, that shit saved my life. And, you know, yeah. That's my journey, how I got to become a pro. It was a short journey. And when I got to be on the pro stage, we're gonna talk about that another day. I killed it, you know what I mean? I did my thing. But yeah, me turning pro was one of the biggest, my biggest shows was, everybody would think top 10 in the world, Olympia, this and that, that and that. My biggest shows, I won that means the most to me was Mr. Minnesota, because that was a show that gave me life. Like, I could breathe. Like, be happy. Be that crazy motherfucker you is, and enjoy life and bring that to the world, you know what I mean? And then me turning pro. Those are my two biggest things right there, because now that I'm a pro, I already know what I'm gonna do. So yeah, me making it to Olympia top 10, that shit means the dearest to me. But those two first ones, it was like life-changing for me. Life-changing. Yeah. Bodybuilding, baby. My journey to becoming a pro. Man, thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all didn't get bored. And like and subscribe and comment. Tell us what y'all want. Tell us how y'all feel about this. Yeah, we all ears. We out.